Now, Indian culture is very unique. They are the main Hindu country in the world. Now, there are several islands, like in Bali, that have Hindu religion, and then several communities in our country that have the Hindu religion. But Hindu is primarily an Indian thing. 80% of Indians are Hindu, and it was developed and evolved from the Aryans, those light-skinned, tall invaders that came from Iran and Central Asia. This is a polytheistic religion which has many gods. Now, some Indians would argue that they're actually monotheistic and that they believe in moksha, or one God, one spirit, one Brahman. And then they have created these, over the thousands of years, thousands or hundreds of different gods to make it more accessible to humans to understand and pray to and to relate to. But most of us are going to consider them polytheistic or having many gods. One of the chief beliefs of Hinduism is this concept of reincarnation, which is rebirth of the soul after death. So once you die, then your soul is born again into another human. And this kind of works hand in hand with their caste system. I've said before that they've made this illegal, but you can't really just change people's minds and beliefs if it's been part of their culture for thousands of years. So the caste system is a series of social classes shaped like a pyramid. At the top, you have the Brahmins, or the holiest people, who are priests and scholars. Below them, you had the Kshatriyas. They were the rulers and warriors. In times of peace, they ended up just kind of becoming government workers. Then you have the Vaishyas, which would be the farmers and the merchants. And below them, you'd have the Sudras, or the artisans and the laborers. Way at the bottom, you'd have the Dalits, or what we would call the untouchables. They're kind of outside the caste system, and they have the lowest status of all. Now, this only works because everybody believes in dharma, that every caste or every social group has its own moral duty. And your duty is to complete your dharma to the best of your ability so that when you die, you can be reincarnated up a level. That means that those untouchables are going to do the best job that they can with the really uncomfortable bad jobs they get, so that in the next life they'll be born up into this caste system. And it also means that the people at the top are treated with much more respect and honor than everybody else because, hello, obviously they've been through many different lives to get there. I understand this is a difficult concept for Westerners to get, especially people who are of monotheistic faith. It's an argument, and this is one reason why the Muslims and the Hindus don't get along in India. Because they believe in reincarnation. I've heard it said that they just believe that it takes more than one life to get up into heaven, or what they would consider like moksha. And Christians, Muslims, and Jews believe it just takes one life to get into heaven. So there's a little bit of difference there, and if you start to judge other people by your views and your morals, then it can cause arguments, and it has, and we see it every once in a while. There's some outbursts of people disagreeing over the religions, but it's a systematic thing. It's totally part of their culture. It's not something that is separate. In America, we try to separate church and state and church and religion. In their country, it all goes kind of hand in hand. There's no really American dream there because it's a system that's been around for thousands of years. It's not going to happen overnight. You can't just change things. Now, India does have other religions. They're not only and purely Hindu. They have Jainism. There are some Christians left over from the different missionary groups, like the Portuguese, the French, and the British. There's Sikhism, which is kind of a blend between Muslim and Hindu with some other spiritual things in it, and then Buddhism, which is a branch of Hinduism. Buddhism originated in northern India. Buddha was a Hindu who meditated and found that the source of all pain in life is material things and wanting things, and so to make life peaceful, you just need to get rid of that and stop being materialistic and go through his different steps to reach nirvana. We'll get to that more in detail later. And Islam is still going strong in certain parts of India. although most of them left in 1947 and moved to the north and northeast.